to see the ball go through the net. But I think, every game, regardless, you're making shots, you're not, it feels really, really good to have your teammates behind.
It feels so good when the ball goes through the net. But really, every game, whether you're making shots or not, it just feels amazing to have your teammates behind you. That's what Lexie Hull said. And honestly, the basketball world is reeling after she dropped some major revelations. It's totally flipping what we thought we knew about Caitlin Clark. No one saw this coming. Lexie leaked some wild details that really give us new insight into who Clark is, her journey, and what's really going on with the Indiana Fever behind the scenes. Fans are shocked, teammates are buzzing, and social media is absolutely blowing up. So, what did Lexie actually spill, and how is it going to change Caitlin's image forever? We're diving into every explosive detail right now. Before all the doubts, before she really struggled to keep her career going, Lexie Hull was a huge name. She totally dominated at Stanford, right? A fearless competitor who fought her way to a national championship. Her confidence just radiated on the court. Her focus was sharp. Her drive was unmatched. So, when the Indiana Fever drafted her 6th overall, it wasn't just about potential. They truly believed in her. They saw someone who could think fast, move smart, and really lead a transformation for the team. But listen, the pro stage is a whole different beast. The WNBA's speed, strength, and constant pressure. Those aren't just physical challenges. They're mental battles, too. Suddenly, Hull found herself on the bench more than ever. Game after game, her minutes disappeared. And with them, so did her confidence. Those cheers she used to get just echoes. Now it messes with your head. She actually confessed later. She went from being a vital part of a winning team to just another name on the roster. And she wasn't alone in feeling that way. Every single player in this league was a star once, the best on their college team. Now they are all fighting just to stand out again, to matter again. But here's the thing. Lex's struggle was actually part of something way bigger. Something that had been brewing with the Indiana Fever long before she even got there. The team wasn't just losing games, they were losing belief. Years of defeat had totally reshaped who they were. Losing had become routine, almost expected, and the locker room just felt heavy, with a quiet kind of resignation. No amount of new talent could cover up that lack of accountability or a real winning culture. Plus, it wasn't just about missing shots. It was about missing purpose. Criticism had replaced encouragement, and the hope of turning things around just got thinner every season. Then, like a huge storm on the horizon, Caitlin Clark showed up. Her arrival wasn't just a regular signing. It was a total energy shift. She walked in with this gravity that just pulled attention from everywhere. The team was suddenly being followed. Arenas were packed and expectations just rose like floodwaters. But for Clark, this wasn't about fame or ticket sales. It was personal. That same fiery intensity that made her a legend at Iowa, it was now burning right through the Fever's locker room. She wasn't there to adapt to their culture. She was there to rewrite it. Her standard of excellence didn't just challenge the team's losing mentality. It declared war on it. From her very first days, the change was obvious. Practices got sharper, conversations got louder, and the air was just electric. With something new. Accountability. Lexie even noticed it, not just in Clark's play, but just in her whole vibe. On and off the court, Caitlin carried herself with this focus that really demanded respect. It's really awesome to get to know her, people would say later, realizing that behind the spotlight, Clark was grounded, thoughtful, and surprisingly mature for someone carrying so much weight. But that composure, it came with an edge, a relentless expectation for everyone around her to match her energy. The real turning point, according to insiders, happened during one of their early practices together. After a bunch of careless turnovers, frustration just boiled over. Clark, known for how sharp she is, stopped the drill cold. And what came next wasn't some nice little pep talk. It was a full-blown verbal storm. She called out several veterans, her tone totally raw and direct. The gym went dead silent. You could cut the tension with a knife. This wasn't the smiling rookie everyone adored in the media. This was the version forged in the fires of pure competition. Her words hit hard, exposing all the cracks in a team that had avoided real confrontation for way too long. The coaching staff suddenly had a huge dilemma. Here was their prized rookie, their ticket to relevance, openly challenging the team's whole hierarchy. Her drive was powerful. Yeah, but also kind of dangerous. There were whispers about trying to reel her in, telling her to tone it down to ease the discomfort she'd sparked. But deep down, they all knew this wasn't destruction. It was transformation. So, in a pretty risky move, they decided to let her fire burn. No intervention, no silencing. Just a quiet gamble that her intensity might do what years of strategies and signings hadn't forced the fever to finally wake up. And while some players totally recoiled from Clark's confrontational style, Lexie Hull saw something else entirely. In that tense moment, with everything on the line, Lexie knew this was her last chance. This wasn't just another game or another practice. It was her defining moment. And instead of shrinking under Clark's demanding energy, she chose to rise and meet it. While some players felt completely overwhelmed by Clark's fire, Lexie Hull saw it differently. She saw a challenge, an invitation to find that part of herself that used to thrive under pressure. So, she started staying after practice, running extra drills, pushing through exhaustion, and moving past those quiet doubts that had held her back. When Clark stayed late, Lexie stayed right there with her. They matched each other's intensity. Two different flames burning toward the same goal. And pretty soon, something incredible started to happen. That spark that had been missing from Hall's game, it began to return. Together, they started building this chemistry that just electrified the court. Clark's insane court vision met Hall's renewed hustle with unbelievable precision. Caitlin would sling passes through gaps that seemed impossible, angles that just defied logic. And somehow Lexie would always be there, catching them in stride, finishing strong at the rim. What began as tension slowly evolved into deep trust. Coaches and teammates were absolutely stunned by how fast their dynamic grew. This connection wasn't born out of comfort. It was forged in confrontation, in sweat, in frustration, and in a mutual refusal to give up. Caitlin changed everything, Paul would later say. And she totally meant it. Clark's presence wasn't just about stats or highlight reels. It was about pure energy, belief, and an almost contagious determination to lift up everyone around her. Lex's comeback became this huge symbol. If she could bounce back from self-doubt, anyone, and soon the rest of the Indiana fever started feeling it, too. Aliyah Boston began setting tougher screens, knowing Clark would find her on the roll. Kelsey Mitchell, who used to hesitate, started sprinting
Please remember to like, subscribe, and enable all notifications if you have watched this far and found the video entertaining.